I've always been a light sleeper, and then I'm the dude who falls asleep at like, who fell asleep at like some slumber parties, like last. So I'm just like sitting there, sitting up, looking at people sleep, and creep status. I'm like, nah. It's funny because like even when we would have like the homies come over or whatever, I would leave at like 3, 4, 5 in the morning and just walk home because I'm like, this is stupid.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
Yeah. And then my friends would be like, where'd you go? I was like, I went home. I couldn't sleep. I'm not gonna sit there and watch you guys sleep. And they're like, all right, so.
Who's the loudest sleeper out of all of your friends?
The loudest sleeper? I don't even know because I stopped sleeping over a long time ago. Yeah, so.
I feel like Tucci is a snorer.
So how was your time with your girlfriend last night?
It was cool. I mean, we were just dancing, and like, but it was packed. But that's the reason I hate going on Saturdays, because it's always on. I don't know why. I don't know why people don't. It's not that packed on a Friday night, but the club opens at 9. But it was just like stupid packed to the point where like you can't move, or like you're bumping into people. And there's this dude. So they're playing banda.
Speak up a little bit.
What?
Speak up a little bit.
They're playing like banda, and this dude, he's like dancing with his elbows up, like, but like, and he's just flapping it around, bro, like spinning around, like hopping around. And bro, this fool like elbowed me like 3 times, bro.
No, what'd you do?
Yeah, and nothing around, just like I'm trying to like casually move to like away from this dude, but he's following me, bro. And it doesn't help that the girl he's dancing with, bro, she's kind of big. So, like, it's just like, bro, like, there's no room for them on the dance floor, but they want to be dancing, like, this was, like, spinning around, bro, like, flapping his...
Was he creating room for her?
I don't know, bro. This was in his own world, bro.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, I try to be as courteous as I can.
Right.
And when people just, when they just act like it's only them, that gets on my nerves so bad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I try not to get on my, like, I try not to let it get on my nerves, because that's what I'm thinking. Like, bro, you know it's tight. Like, you know the dance space is not that, like, big. So, like,
you know it's tight and your girl's hefty. Come on.
Exactly, bro. You're out here flapping your arms, bro. Like, come on, what is this?
You're over here being Flappy Bird.
No, but yeah, bro, it's super packed, bro. Like, if I could show you a video, bro, like, it's just like to the point where, like, bro, you can't even dance. I don't know how we found room to dance.
Have you always been into dancing?
No. I got into dancing, which is funny. So, I got into dancing a little bit after, ironically, it was after I had a relationship and I was with this, like, girl for almost 2 years. She was, like, paisa, but she didn't like dancing with me. And I wasn't really into paisa music at that time. So after we broke up...
What is paisa music, like banda?
Yeah, like banda, more than the basic corridos that everybody plays, I guess. Like, my music just started vastly, so, like, as soon as I became single, my uncle's like, hey, like, come over here. I was already 21, so, like, I wanted, like, went out to go drink.
Mm-hmm.
I was just newly single, so I was just like, I went out, and from there, like, I just started listening to the music more, and now, like, I feel like I listen to the music probably almost every day now, just casually, but yeah, but I didn't start getting into it until recently. I've always kind of liked dancing, like, with my mom or whatever, but I kind of never knew how. Like, I could dance separate, good, but it's like with a partner, I was never able to, like, actually grasp that until recently.
Yeah, I've always had left feet, so I could hit that shoulder shimmy though.
That's
like
right.
Nobody's
that's right.
business, dog. I hit that 1-2 step. Call me Sierra.
That's how my brother is, Joseph.
Yeah.
He has 2 left feet, bro. Like, this fool, he can't dance for the life of him. But he tries, though. his prom, he goes to Garfield in East
Uh-huh.
LA. So there are fights over there because for prom they had a banda.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Hey, dog. There you go. You like it? I love it.
So my mom was teaching her to dance because he's like, I don't know how to dance banda. I was like, bro. No, but
So what time did you get home last night?
probably like 2:30.
2:30? That's disgusting.
I
Oh
know.
my gosh. I'm over here crying that I want to sleep at like 12.
Hey, bro, things gotta be done, bro.
Hey, man. You had a good time. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters, bro.
So, give me the backstory. Who is Ray? Where do you come from?
So
Let's go back to the beginning.
let's go. So the backstory about me is I was always raised by Christian parents,
Uh-huh.
which was ironic because the way my parents met, my mom was like a diehard Catholic, and then my dad was like, grew up Christian, but the type of Christian like Pentecostal Spanish Christian. So he kind of was like, bro, I'm not trying to deal with this. So he walked away from God. So when my parents got married, my mom actually got introduced to God first, even though my dad knew who God was. Or let me rephrase that. My mom got introduced to Christianity first before my dad, and my mom became a Christian first. And then I guess that kind of spoke to my dad. But I've always kind of grew up in the church. Like I started going to, at the time CCM, like around 1 or 2, like, and like so growing up in the church is just like you kind of grew up different. But the thing is, yeah, I grew up like around the church, but it was kind of hard because I feel like my house was divided for a while. So
It was what?
I was divided for a while because my dad would drink a lot, and he didn't stop drinking until 2009, then, which was like where he actually found God and dedicated his life. So growing up as a Christian and then like growing up in East LA, it was kind of difficult because everybody was Catholic. And I know it's like, bro, like at a certain age, why does that matter? It kind of does because it's just like, I still felt different. I still felt different from all the other kids. So like, I used to get picked a lot. So
You used to get picked on for being a Christian, or
just, I guess, not being like the other kids in the way of where the things I know. Like I was the type person. I was the type of little kid where I was excited, so I had like my little Bible in my backpack or whatever, and I tried to talk to kids about it, and like, yeah, bro, it kind of didn't end so well. But so with this said, like like in elementary school, I would get picked on a lot. So once I reached middle school, I was like trying to find a new image, and I was trying to like, I guess, reinvent myself. And
middle school, you're discovering who you are, trying to figure out who you are to begin with, right?
So from there, let's just say I went from like in elementary school, me giving a little Valentine's Day card to a girl I thought was cute, and then like looking at me weird, to middle school where the first day of school, like I was already getting attention from other girls. So I was just like, like what? Like what is this? So, in middle school I basically had this like 2-week rule, where like I'll like make out with some girl, hang out with them for like 2 weeks, and then I get bored, so then I go to like another one. And it was like that for a while, and it wasn't just like little girls that I met. Like it was like, bro, these girls were like already in 8th grade, and I was barely in 6th grade. And it's just like, I don't know how I'm thinking back, like I don't know how I did it, but because of that, this kind of goes into who I was. I got myself into a lot of girl trouble at a young age. So I kind of wish it didn't happen like that, cause that made me into a person where like I would just like at church I got myself into trouble. Like, uh, if you ever ask yourself like, how is it possible that someone gets suspended at church? I don't know. You should ask me because I got Derek suspended me from the junior high like about
Suspension meaning that what? You can't
like
go.
you can't come back for like a certain amount of time.
You have to go sit with your parents. You can't go to like the youth events and stuff.
Right.
Because you're over there creeping.
Uh, he says it was creeping, but the first time he ever suspended me, I have this friend named Brian Bernal.
Don't be throwing out names here, dog.
Hey, come on, dog. It's all right. He was being annoying that day. So, so we're messing around, and he threw a football, and it hit me in like the back or something. So us being me being just a guy, I grabbed the football and threw a perfect spiral to like the back of his head, and like that fool, I don't know if that fool was messing around, but that fool fell. And Derek comes out and he's like, Ray, what are you doing? And basically he's like, I want to talk to your dad. And he basically kicked me out because of that reason.
Because he threw a perfect tight spiral?
Because I threw a perfect tight spiral on like some kid's head. But yeah, so that was the first time I ever got suspended. Then in high school, the first time I was asked not to come back because I was creeping. The second time...
Do you remember this story? Hold on. We'll get back to that. The first time. What was it? What is creeping? Because we don't want to leave...
Basically, I went to like these camps, summer camp or winter camp, just to go hit on girls or try to like talk to girls. So when I say creeping, I mean like...
So you weren't going to learn about God, you were going to learn about
the anatomy? All these high school kids, bro, we all just wanted to spit game, bro.
All right. So that was the first time.
Okay, so that was the first time. The second time where basically, from what I heard, the leaders had to talk about it and like have like a board meeting about if they should let me go or not. Let you
go as in what? Like not come back?
No, like let me go like to the winter camp or something.
Oh, to invite you?
Yeah.
Okay. It was that bad, huh?
I guess so. And I do remember your wife was a leader at that time, and then Carmen was as well. Because this is like around the time period. I think you were still a leader. I don't remember. But around that time, I was already 16. And like I had good intention of going up there and just being like, like I just want to like isolate myself from God. And, like I was actually trying. I kind of started getting discouraged a little bit, but around that time, I also met a girl up there. Like just like she was cool. I wasn't like trying to spit game that hard, but things just clicked and like whatever. Like we just hit it off. But there's like 5 other couples over there that like were forming or whatever, transpiring, and I got in trouble for it. And
so you weren't the only one, but
I got the heat for it. But what also happened was by my good friend Monkey, I also got caught with my phone up there, cause I was like, bro, like I'm gonna try to be cool and sneak my phone up there. So I did. And basically because of that, I was asked not to come back.
So you were just being bad all around.
But like I was gonna be gone temporarily, but my dad's like, you know what, like this is like the 3rd time already. Like if they don't want you there, like why are you gonna put you back? So I think, to be honest, me not going to the youth ministry, I think that helped form me into a better relationship than where I would have been. I see a lot of people I grew up with, everybody that I went to the high school with, honestly, they either stopped coming to church or they just stopped walking with God. So I think it was me listening to Poncho studies that helped me to want to be like, you know what? I'm gonna keep coming back on my own will. Um, cause people are like, my mom was always worried about that. Like once I started driving on my own, am I gonna keep coming or not?
Mm.
And I did. But long story short, so a little bit about my backstory, bro. I was just a knucklehead, this wannabe wrist spitter, whatever you want to call it.
What is it? Wrist bitten?
Riz. You know that new. You haven't heard that new term?
I've heard it, but I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. I don't know exactly what it means. So I'm not
No,
gonna
Riz
pretend.
just means like, do you have game? Like, are you able to
Oh,
spit
okay.
game? So like, for example, the first time I ever heard it was, do you know who Austin Reeves is?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
So Austin Reeves, there's a little meme going around that Austin Reeves accidentally crashed in the bench on the Lakers bench. He accidentally crashed into like these three, whatever you want to call them, like so-called baddies, girls, whatever.
Hmm.
And like he like smiled at them, and then like after that he became like prime Kobe. Like he was just like shooting. He was like throwing up these like acrobatic layups. Like he was just falling out. And so they're just like, dang, this one needs to crush to girls more often so he can ball up.
You know that's a real thing though. Like when studies show that when women are around, like people, like men in particularly, perform better. It's a real thing, like in the gym world too. So you
I
see,
think I've heard of it because I mean
I don't know if it's like more of a
that's
ego
never
thing.
worked for me though.
I don't know if it's
Like-
like more of an ego thing, but I know for sure it's like, yeah, like you want to give a little bit more effort.
When I was younger, I would like, especially like in the church, I would ball up and like, dude, I would do. Sometimes I'll do good, but every single time there was like a really cute girl,
McDonald's.
and like I would try to like that. Like I would try to enter my prime Kobe stage, bro. I always do so garbage.
Yeah, dude, it was God shutting you down. He put the clamps on you.
Well, I still ended up getting the girl, so it's just like. So I guess.
So, going back, so growing up in like a Christian household, what did that mean to you? Was it just like you guys went to church often, Sundays, Wednesdays, camps? Like what did that mean?
Honestly,
Because anybody could say they're a Christian.
right. Honestly, in the household, there's like different time periods because it was harder when before my dad was Christian, so anywhere between 2009 and before, when my dad wasn't Christian, the household was kind of weird because we weren't.
How so?
There was I just remember a lot of more of a hostile environment. My dad would be always pissed. Things would happen where like I would get him pissed off and it'd just be all bad. My mom and dad would be all like arguing, not just like like regular like bickering, like arguing. Like let's just say, I remember there was a hole that ended up being on the wall because my dad was pissed one night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just bad. So then, I don't remember. I guess I remember like this. I don't know if exactly this happened, but I was already in 5th grade, and I went to one of the teachers for prayer because, not to say like, my dad's like never punched me or anything like that, but like he's gotten a little physical. So I went and asked for prayer for him, like I guess to heal him or whatever. Next thing you know, they called child services, and next thing you know, the cops came during service and like isolated me to like the little house that they have across the street.
Yeah.
They put me in there, and I just, dude, look, I get they're just trying to do their job, but like, dude, I got super scared because like you hear like, at that time I already had 2 brothers. I didn't want them splitting us up.
Yeah.
Like I rather live with my grandma or something than to be split up. So that's what was going through my head. So I'm not gonna lie, dude. I started like bawling like a baby, bro. Like I was just like hysterically crying, cause I honestly thought that they were gonna take me from my parents. But I guess after that, my dad completely changed. Like completely. I don't know. That was just like the turning point or whatever.
Like a wake up call.
Like
that
a
it's
wake up
not-
call.
Yeah.
Cause he stopped drinking like cold turkey. Like you were like people are like, oh well, if you're addicted to like alcohol, like how can you cold turkey? Like he just cold turkey stopped. And ever since then, like that, my dad actually got a walk. So my household was different, into the sense of during like Christmas, we'll have a tradition where like my dad will lead. We'll do like small devotions before like we open gifts, or like the household is just more of like implemented where we try to do stuff in God's name. Where like I would see my dad like witness to other people. He'll tell people about God, like that kind of thing. And I was just like, like
So it's like a real like a transformation
like right.
from
So,
just saying and going to church,
And going to church
and actually like living it outside of the
because
building, right?
because actually my dad refused to go to church, so and there's something happened where I guess someone offended my dad at CCM, and then he used that for a reason. But you already know, like he probably didn't want to go
Yeah.
because
You're just looking for anything not to.
right, and he used that as a reason. And my dad's pride, like he just stopped coming, and he refused to go to church. So me and my mom would go to church, just us. And I remember it was crazy because I remember we were at the market, and I think my mom started getting emotional because people were asking her like, oh, like treating her like if she was a single mom, because some people thought like I didn't have a dad.
Just like randos.
Yeah,
coming up to
like
you?
just like those church people like just ask for stuff. It's like, bro, where did you get this information from? Yeah, like people would just ask my mom like, oh, like, is it hard like raising him by yourself? And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm married. She's like, oh, you have a husband? I didn't know that. Like,
Because
seen him.
they never saw him.
They never saw him.
Oh.
So I mean, I'm not saying like it was just like uncalled for, but I'm just like, oh, like I understand why they did. But yeah, so I just remember like we're at the market, my mom would like get all like sad, like or sad / mad. And she'd be like, yeah, like people don't even know I'm married because your dad doesn't want to come to church. Like, I guess the market was a venti place for my mom. But and at the time I was
Been
probably
known
like,
to shed a tear or two.
I was probably already 6 or something. But later on, talking to my dad, like me and my dad, like honestly, like man to man, like we could just have a conversation. It's not like we're like, I mean, yeah, I see him as my dad, but it's more of like, since I'm an adult now, we can have a conversation. So I asked him about his walk and like just like where did he transform, and he kind of like aligned his story with mine. But he said one of the other things was when I was 5. Let me backtrack. So around when I was like, 4, my mom got in this really huge accident. This Corvette was going like 100 miles per hour on like a street, and he like crashed into my mom, and his Corvette like split in half.
No way.
Yeah. So at the time, my dad was like. So I know my dad wasn't perfect, but the thing is that he's always showed protection for us. Like he's loved us, but it was just, I guess, the sin was that he was like going through. It's weird. When my dad was, I guess, happy, he was a really great dad. Like he'll take us out. Like I never had a boring childhood where like we're poor. We lived in South Central in a 1-bedroom apartment, but we never lived poor. Like he would take us to Disneyland, and he would like constantly, and like just stuff like that. I guess you could say like I had a happy childhood, in a way. So when he was good, but it's like when he was bad, he was bad.
The lows,
like it was, yeah.
The lows that were the worst.
So, my dad like was always kind of protective. So he would tighten my like the baby seat like really tight, like super tight, so like nothing would fly off or whatever. And so because of that, because I was already tied up really tight, when my mom got in the car crash, my head jolted, and I hit my head, I guess, on the car seat or something. Cause it wasn't until
You got whiplash?
I got whiplash, but it wasn't until like 5 months or maybe like a year later, when I turned 5, I had a really big seizure, like big, and I had to be hospitalized. So like, my dad was telling me like he thought I was gonna die. I'm not choking up, bro. I'm just. He thought I was gonna die, so like he said that he was like praying to God, like please, like if don't take him, like that. But he said that was like the turning point of his walk. The crazy thing is, he kind of like shared with me, and again, this is like I guess we're older, so like he can. He says God's always been there for him, showing him different things. But there's like 3 main events that made him kind of change. So I already shared 2 was the child services incident, this incident where I almost died when I was 5. But God showing him actually backtracks like years later when he was like 13. So he grew up in South Central, right? It's like gang affiliated, like his brother, his older brother, he kind of ran a part of South Central. Like he was like a big time gangster. Like black people knew my uncle as like they called him Rocky because like he would get down with like a bunch of people and he would win. But anyways, so they went to the DMV to register a car that my uncle gave my dad. There's an altercation and my uncle was being shot at by like a rival gang. My dad said that they shot at my uncle about 17 times.
Unloaded on him, huh?
So he was running. My dad said that he like did this monkey crawl. The guy was still shooting. Bullets were flying. That my dad said that he could hear the bullets ricocheting. And next thing you know, my uncle trips up. That guy goes above him and starts shooting him. And he said he shot him about 12 times. So because of that, so they drive off. They throw up their sign or whatever. My dad runs to him. And it's like, Tony. Again, my dad's 13. My uncle at the time is probably like 17 or 18. And like my dad's like, crying. He's like, this is my brother. Like, don't let him die. Because at the time, my grandma was already like a heavy Christian. So apparently my dad was saying that before he left the house, my grandma just kept saying like, I don't want you hanging around with him. I don't want you to hang around him, because she knew what his life was about. And my dad was 13 at the time, so like he still didn't know anything. And like, my dad thought it was cool, so he wanted to go hang out. He's like, don't go. My grandma just said, don't go. And like my grandma, like he was leaving, and my grandma was like, basically in Spanish was like, let the blood of Jesus protect you. And she just kept saying, let the blood of Jesus protect you. So because of that, my dad just started repeating that, let the blood of Jesus protect you. Let the blood of Jesus protect you. So they took him to the ambulance, and my dad had his jacket. He like drove home with his friend that my dad said he was 13. Like he didn't know the streets. He didn't know. He just remembered how.
So your dad drove the car at 13?
Yeah. To go back home.
Yeah.
And told my grandma, like, again, my grandma only spoke Spanish, but my dad spoke really broken Spanish. So in broken Spanish, he said,
how did they communicate? Go ahead.
I don't know, but that's why I asked him. But my dad told my grandma, le chotaron a Tony. And like my grandma understands our broken Spanish, but basically she started crying and she was like started praying. She grabbed the jacket and she's like, please, like let the blood of Jesus protect you. Let the blood of Jesus protect you, please. And then she just started praying. Next thing you know, she puts the jacket in the washer. About maybe 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later, you hear a noise coming from the washer, and you hear, and my grandma's like, no, please, like, do not let the machine break. We have to wash away this blood. My grandma opens up the washer and she pulls 10 bullets out from the jacket.
That's so dangerous, dude. They probably could have went off. Or maybe was it just the shells?
I know, like, my dad says that only 2 bullets penetrated out of the 12 shots that guy shot.
Uh-huh.
Only 2 penetrated, like through his skin, like, and he ended up. I mean, my uncle's still alive. Like, he ended up surviving. So, like, that was his first moment where he's like, dude, like, God's showing me something. Like,
Yeah.
And, but because of that, like, my dad ended up actually giving his life to God in 2009. So my household was totally different. But at that time, I was kind of already kind of grown. And that
In
was
what
ar-
way? In what way?
well, that was around the time. 2009 was around the time that I was entering middle school and I was trying to reinvent myself. So coming from this like little Christian kid trying to be good and stuff, and
Uh-huh.
like learning Bible verses and all that stuff,
Yeah.
I was already trying to be cool. And obviously, like in school, like you're not cool if you're all like church involved. So I was kind of living a double life. And yeah, so that was kind of my household, but yeah, it was a little bit different.
So what was it like for you during like your high school years where you're living like this double life, so to speak? Like,
In the beginning, so in high school it was a little bit different because I didn't stay in East LA. I came to Pico Rivera,
uh-huh.
and dude, when I say that girls knew you were fresh meat, the girls knew you were fresh meat because the first day of school I already was like making out with some girl in the back, and I had no idea who this chick was. I just knew her first name was Stephanie, and that's it. Like I literally didn't know who this girl was. She was from North Park. Like, bro, I just
Shout out North Park, producing the finest. Just kidding.
But yeah, like I didn't even know who this chick was. So like, but because of that, like I was like, dude, like again, during the whole middle school thing, like just like talking to different girls, like these girls were like, no, like me as a new guy, cause I was completely new, and I guess I don't know, like where you come from means something, cause they're just like, oh damn, he's from East LA, like I don't know, they thought it was some kind of cholo, cause that was it. The funniest thing in El Rancho, the first people I ever hung out with, because there's this guy that was kind of like, not really my cousin, but he was like a family friend. There's this family that was really close to my family growing up, and this is like the cousin of a cousin of a cousin. Anyways, it's confusing, but anyway, so I was hanging around him like my first day because I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
So the first group of people that I hung around with for like the first week or so, I hung around with the cholos. And they said at that time, if you're not familiar with the El Rancho, so you have the quad in the middle, and then you have where like this like wall where they have the emblem.
Yeah.
And at the time, I guess
The school logo, right?
the school logo, that's where they were hanging out.
So they were Cholo Pride and School Pride?
I guess so, because that's where we're kicking it. But yeah, I was hanging around with them for a while. Next, thing you know, I just like ended up just hanging out with different girls and walking around the quad or whatever. I guess that means something back then. But
What could it mean? Oh gosh.
But yeah, but
Do you ever think back to like those times and you're like, what was I thinking?
yeah, like thinking back to it now, dude, I wish I wasn't. I wish I focused on my schooling better, and I probably wish I invested a little bit more time and effort into sports.
Yeah. I feel that.
Because rather than like meeting girls and trying to like, I guess you want to say play the game or whatever, I wasn't actually focused on like athletics.
Hold on. Let's stop right there. I want to ask you, do you remember your mindset when you were trying to be a Mac with all these girls? Like, what was it? Was it just like the thrill of the chase that you could talk to them and see what you can do, or what was going through your mind at that time? Do you remember?
I guess at the time, it would be cliche, but I used to watch a lot of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So at that time, like I was trying to get like an image of like like this, I guess, ladies man, like, you know, the guys were like, hey bro, like you could pull, and I thought that was cool. So like in my head, bro, honestly, I was just trying to like get this reputation or get this image, but I ended up realizing it was the wrong image.
Mm.
Because my freshman year, I made the team for
What team?
basketball, the basketball team. But I was trash. I was like third string. I didn't get any playing time, bro.
Third string at a Rancho?
At third string at a
snap.
Rancho, bro. Like, I was just bad. Again, I could have probably got better
Yeah.
if I would have focused on my...
Tried.
Like, actually tried, dude. But I didn't. I was just like there to mess around or whatever. Let's just say I was the type of kid, bro. You know, like your last time you were mentioning, like your friend was hitting on the teacher. I was the type of kid, bro. I was even hitting on the teacher.
So,
bro.
some context. One of my friends, our senior year, he asked out one of our teachers to prom in front of everybody, in front of the class she was doing.
I asked out one
gosh.
of the teachers, bro, to prom, and I was only
Did
a
you really?
freshman.
You were a freshman?
I was like, hey, you know, like my prom's only 4 years away. Like I'll wait, like, you know, like I'll, like if
Hey,
you're
I
still
like that
teaching-
you're a planner though, and you asked early. You didn't wait till last minute.
No, but she was cool. She ended up being like the dean or something, but.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
But yeah.
I think that's for everybody though. I wish I could go back and invest a little bit more effort into like school and sports. I actually had that mentality when I was in freshman year. I used to go to the varsity practices for wrestling at 6 in the morning, and I was like nowhere near varsity, but I wanted to get better. Now I was like running at night when I got home on my own after practice, and then somewhere around like junior year, I started dipping because that's when I started like getting attention from girls. And I was always grown up an ugly dude, so I never really had like, what is that like? I was always insecure, like till
Yeah.
this day. Like I never saw myself.
No, right. I get that.
So I couldn't handle it. I think it derailed me pretty fast.
Same thing for me. Like, again, that was my next point. Like, it honestly derailed me mentally. Like, bro, like my insecurity just spiked up. I never thought I was like this super handsome dude. Like some guys be feeling themselves. That wasn't me. I mean, I had game, but I'm not.
Would you say you just had like the gift of gab, like you could just
Exactly, because
start
after that, like,
conversations and
dude, I didn't know what I was doing, bro. So like most of the time, I think that's why like it only lasted like 2 weeks, because I didn't know what the heck I was doing, bro.
at some
so-
point you had to talk to him and you could after
no,
making out.
no, yeah.
You had to have conversations.
Yeah, bro. I
Hey,
think that's.
what is this?
Yeah, bro. I ended up being just. I always thought it was game, but like now that I tried on my current girlfriend, she's like, "You don't have game. You're just cheesy," and some girls like that, and I don't. Yeah, but I was like, "Damn."
Hey, it worked, didn't it? You said, yeah. Got you.
No, but my grades plunged, and when I say plunged, I didn't just get like like D's and stuff. Like my sophomore year, because I was just like all I cared about was just being cool or whatever, like the TV shows make it seem to be. Dude, my grades plunged. Like let's just say I only passed one class, and it was math class with this guy named Mr. Harrell. That was cool. But all the other classes, most of the classes, dude, I was ditching.
Okay, well, I don't know who it was, but I think the record that I heard, somebody had a .5 GPA.
Dude, that was me, bro. That
Was it you? Oh.
That was my record, bro. I literally, my sophomore year, I had a 0.5 GPA.
Oh my goodness, dude. I don't even understand. Like, for context, for people who don't know, it's like you go to a rancho, you go to the class, and you sign your name on the paper, you get a C. So I don't understand how. I don't understand how you get a .5.
Well, it changed because I mean, it works for PE, bro. I mean, but no, but so let me clear that up. So my freshman year, I got a 2.5, which wasn't bad.
Okay.
But then, like, so my sophomore year, like, the GPA for my sophomore year was a 0.5. So at that time, like, I don't know, by average, I guess my GPA dropped to, like, 1.0 or something. Again, if I'm doing the math wrong, I don't care but again, even though I passed geometry, that was the only class I passed. But either way, do you know Alvarado? The old P coach. I think I won't.
Alvy? Yeah,
Alvy. Yeah,
I know Alvy.
So I would ditch all my classes to go to his P class, because he
Why
was like,
would you go to PE class?
because okay. So let me explain.
Most people go, like skip class, go to the movies, go eat. You go to a different PE class that you're not enrolled in.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Let me put a pinpoint on that, and I'll come back to that. But let me explain how bad I was. Often I would, again, I was a sweet talker, so I would go to the deans or whatever and like flirt with the receptionist. So at the time, I forgot what, but I was in the office, and the dean like left those tardy slips on the table. Do you remember the tardy slips?
Yeah.
Where
you write them out, and then
you could excuse yourself by being tardy, like the office excuses for being tardy. I stole a pack of those, and so I would go to class. I would go to Alvy's class, and then like show up to my next class with like that slip. I never got caught, which is like funny. I always thought like hey bro, once you're doing something bad, bro, you always get caught. But I never got caught. Look down, I just kind of stopped because I ran out and I wasn't gonna do it again.
Yes.
But I ended up writing. I ended up writing it out for my friends ended up finding out I used to have those, and my friends ended up like, hey Ray, let me have a slip. So I had to write it. I used to be writing it out for my friends. But anyways, so
down a little bit.
Okay, going back to why I go to PE. Because PE. That's where all the okay, this is sound bad, but that's where all like the nobodies. At the time, like that's where like all the freshmen had PE. I was a sophomore at the time, so I would like go to scope out like the freshman chicks.
Wow, what a creep!
So I would just like be his helper or whatever, and I'll be like, "Hey, Alvy, my teacher sent me here because he told me it's cool to help you out." He's like,
"You're over there being a prospect."
And then he was, "I'm not lying." I told that to Alvy. The only thing he said was like, "Okay," and like, dude, I would just be helping him out, like hand out like the equipment to like the girls and
stuff. Put your head down a little bit, right there.
And I would just hand them out to like the girls and stuff, and like, but that's pretty why. That's why I went to PE, bro. Like everybody else, you're right. Most people would ditch, hop the fence, go to Jack in the Box. Other people would ditch, go to the restroom and smoke weed. Nope, I want to spit game, bro. So I went to PE. I went to the PE class. My mentality was like, look, if I go spit game to the cheerleaders or the girls in volleyball, they're already full of themselves, I guess, because they thought they're all that. So I went to where the girls don't think they're all that. And PE.
Oh, I see why you said nobody's.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they had no like. All right.
Yeah, they had no like
I'm a cheerleader.
I'm a volleyball player. I'm a softball player. Like I went to the nobodies where they're not even.
You went to the low hanging fruit, my guy. Look at you. Okay, you really don't have. Oh. Man.
Bro,
That's hilarious.
I'm telling you, bro. Like there's times, bro. Like I was on a. When I say dry spell, like I guess the part of spitting game, I don't know, was like again like a thorough chase for me, cause I was even spitting game like tortas, dude. I was just like, bro.
Have you seen that Food's Gone Wild page? They made a shirt. I love. Anyways, oh my god. I hit a dry spell, so I had to go get a practice run.
Dude, yeah, I don't know, bro. I do regret it. Again, it messed up my mental health, like my insecurity. I was just like, okay, because I started getting insecure. So when I would feel insecure, that's when I would go spit game. It got to a point where like, I guess I was trying to like find something a little bit more serious, where like I was just like, I see my friends all live my friend was dating this girl since like freshman year and it's already junior year, and like they were like still together or whatever. Like I wanted that instead of just hopping around. But I recreated a reputation, and girls I didn't even think they know each other. Like they're like two different like, was it social classes? They're like, oh no, I heard you're a player. I was like, bro, what? Like how'd you hear? Like, bro, you don't even talk, bro. Like what?
Your reputation preceded you.
Yeah, so it just kind of really jacked me up. So, but, let me go back to like, so when I'd feel insecure, I want to spit game, or I'd just use it to try to like get at girls and you know try to push forward because I already kind of like got into that.
Tear it down a little bit, right there.
So it like messed me up like mentally, bro, because I guess I was still getting girls even though I was a player, but the only reason, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn or whatever, but the only reason is because the girls knew like I was like I guess let's just say I was a good kisser, I guess.
All right, we're gonna take your word on that because I'm not trying to find out firsthand experience.
But I mean, there's more to it. But I'm just gonna say that for the sake of. But yeah, they like so. The girls were basically using me, I guess, just to.
So you were the practice.
Because every time I would like, I guess you could say get attached, they'd be like, nah, like bro, like I thought this was just a fling. And
so you're over there just breaking hearts left and right, my guy.
So, yeah, but
all bad.
That led honestly, that had like a lot to do with like how it was when I was older. So I'm telling you, like, if I just relaxed, probably focus on sports and like build my own self-esteem with sports or whatever, I think things would have been differently on how I acted later on in the future.
I think a lot of people don't consider that. Like I didn't.
Right.
When you're younger, it's like I said, I never thought I was like cute or handsome. Like I still don't. So when I got like that attention from the girls, not like it was a lot. I wasn't a player at all, but it definitely. It's like a drug. It's like a dopamine. Like I could get this girl. Like if
exactly.
I tried.
I guess that's the closest thing I could explain. Like it just feels like a drug because it's addicting at the point. Like, and then when you already have the girl, and the girl could be pretty, bro, but you get bored because you're just like.
Because you're chasing that high, so to say, like so to speak.
And like
right?
now what? Like you made out with her, like it was whatever's, and I mean, bro, like you're what?
14. It was whatever's.
You're 14 at the time, bro.
I heard that forever.
Some girls don't know how to kiss, bro. At that time, like, we're 14, bro. What we be doing? But
well, yeah, most of them were making out for sport, so.
That's just gonna thinking about it, bro. Like. Let's just say, bro, I made out with some girl that they called Gina La Cochina. And she had like a...
Wait, say it again.
She had like her name
Say it with your chest, dog. What's she called?
Gina La Cochina. Because she had a tongue piercing, bro. So I was just like...
It drove you bananas or what? That
was the most exotic I ever went, bro. No. Then I ended up finding out she was in color guard, bro. So I was just like, oh, nah.
Those color guards are a different breed. Let me just say that.
Yeah, bro, but... Honestly, bro, if you hung out by the C building, bro, I did not want to be like. I'm trying to build my social.
Your social status.
My social status, bro. Hanging out C building, bro, would have killed it, bro. I hung out that basketball tree, bro. Why am I gonna go to the C building, bro?
You went from like two extremes of feeling yourself. You went from like, I'm a good kisser to I hang out with the basketball tree. Then you're like, I'm gonna go hang out with the nobodies. So I don't understand.
No, I didn't say I was gonna hang out with the nobodies. I was just gonna spit game out the nobodies.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Anyways.
That's better, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. No, but by like. With guys in general, like I never had beef with anybody. Like I was cool with everybody. Like the cholos, like I was cool with them. To the delinquents, I was cool with them. Like I was just cool. Like when I go to PE, like everybody knew me. And like again, I was with the guys. I never had beef with anybody. There's one time this person wanted to beat me up, but the thing is, technically he was a guy, but then he was transitioning to a girl. So let's just say I wanted to get beat up by this she. All
Oh
because
my God.
she asked for my Instagram or told me to follow them, and I was like, never. But I was just like, nope.
You weren't
And
about it. You weren't as
I-
progressive as you are today.
Nah, bro. Look, I'm all about the game, bro. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what that person was at the time. So it's just like, yeah.
That's funny, dude.
But yeah, but he got mad, and it got to the point because I spit game at his.
I was gonna say, did you spit game at her?
No, I spit game at like his friend, and he got all pissed. And I remember he tried fighting me.
You broke his heart too. Add it to the list. He said, "Get in line."
Bro, like even transgender people are not safe, bro.
That's hilarious, dude.
No, but yeah, that's who I was, bro.
When would you say that all started changing? When you started seeing the folly of your ways, what it brings? Did you ever?
When I actually tried being Christian and I got my heart broken for the first time. Like actually, like my heart broken.
Some poetic justice for you, huh?
So, at the time, this actually kind of had something. My first heartbreak was actually the girl I met at camp at church when I got kicked out.
Oh, really?
It was actually that girl. So at the time I was 16, I was trying to be a Christian too. Like I'm like not even like for the show. Like I was
You were
trying to
legit
get
about
closer
it?
to God. So like I even joined like the Dawns for Christ.
What is that?
At my school, every school has like their own Christian club. Well, ours was called Dawns for Christ. And I guess I would share my testimony, which like about my life growing up in East LA, how it made me like a Christian and stuff. So it got to the point where like people liked hearing like my testimony. So the classes will be full. Just like I'm not lying. Like the classes will be full. Just hearing like me talk about how God changed my life and like and all that stuff. But so at the time, I guess I would say my Christian ego went up because I'm just like
So now it's going from
from like the world
being a player. Now it's like you're getting puffed up from
like
speaking about your
God, my testimony and God and all that stuff, bro.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Nah, bro, I'm laughing at myself, bro. It's silly, bro. It's just
It's
like went
silly.
for like
It
two
really
different-
is silly,
it-
but it's a real thing, because you can get puffed up in the most stupidest things. Like most people think it's like, oh yeah, you get puffed up because you're a good athlete, because you're intellectual, but it could be really dumb things that you get puffed up about too. Like you could find pride in just about anything. So that's why I'm laughing. It's like
No, bro. I
sheesh.
mean, yeah, bro. So I got my heart broken for the first time. This relationship was all bad, bro. I mean, I wasn't used to this girl being all friendly with like other guys, especially like in front of me. But that's my
a no-no.
fault for dating a girl that went to Sure. That was my no-no, bro.
That was your downfall.
And she was a softball girl. Oh, man.
All bad, dude.
Yeah.
You're set up to lose, my guy.
Yeah, but yeah, that was like my first relationship. Like my first serious relationship, I guess you could say. And I got my heart broken.
Where you actually cared.
Yeah.
You wanted. Okay. Is that what you mean by serious?
Because I guess it was just, now think about it, I think it was just a circumstance I like, because that at the time, the mom of that girl actually worked in the same company as my dad and my mom. So in a way, like they kind of knew each other. So at that time, that's kind of when I went on my first date, where like I told my mom like, hey, I'm going out with so and so, and like.
Can you drop me off?
Nah, they actually picked me up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, that's better than one of my stories, but go ahead.
But yeah, it was gonna be like a Karate Kid where like the mom's dropping me up again. Oh man, but yeah, but yeah, that was my first heartbreak. But again, I wasn't, because I still had insecurities and I was just trying to find voids and talking to all these girls. So when my insecurities are actually acting up, and this girl was kind of being like cold with me, like, like, bro, I'm not gonna give you attention, like that kind of thing. It like ate me up, and like it from there, it destroyed me, because I don't know if you remember by the time period, like when I would go to, like, I actually became depressed, like, and so a little bit about my testimony. Because of that, me trying to find the void and me trying to find the, we're gonna get serious, like, me trying to find this void and trying to like find it in sex, find it in girls, find it in drinking, because I didn't do drugs not until way later into college, but finding and drinking, like, it destroyed me mentally, and like I became depressed to the point, you know what, thinking back, I was depressed, and I'm not like shouting at anybody, but like I would hurt myself. But I didn't know if that was like thinking back to it now, like I didn't know I was doing that for attention.
What do you mean hurt yourself? Like, what was
like I would like, get a blade and like,
you were
like,
a cutter?
Yeah, I was cutting. Again, I didn't know about, like, thinking back to it now, like evaluating myself. I don't know if I was doing that for attention, because like you could be depressed and you like, why did I? I'm not saying justifying it, but like, why didn't I just go out smoking with my friends? Why did I have to why did I have to use that as my depression outlet? I guess. So like I entered myself into that deep depression, and there was, honestly, if I had to say, the two people that actually guided me and molded me into getting out of that rut, I guess you could say, and actually seek help. Ironically, dude, like, as much as this guy's a knucklehead, he actually helped me, and it was Jeremy. And like, again, bro, like, dude, if you don't know who Jeremy is, speaking to whoever's listening, Jeremy, dude, like, this guy's a clown. Like, this guy, like,
shout out Duranch the dad.
This guy, especially at this time period, dude, like, this guy was like, it was always a joke with this guy, like, he was the life of the party, all that stuff. But that was the first time I ever saw him serious, and he actually spoke to me, like, guided me. And also it was Ryan. Ryan, at the time, he had just met Hannah, his current wife, or his wife.
I was like, well,
sorry.
You're spreading rumors, bro.
His wife. And I remember we sat in front of Yogurtland right here in Pico.
Yogurtland, shout out Yogurtland.
But he, like, these two people, man, like, at that time, like, especially like you, everybody was my leader and everybody helped me. But like, the two people were like, where Jeremy basically said, like, dude, like, stop being an idiot. Like, straight words, just how he said it. Stop being an idiot, bro. Like, but they picked me up. We went out. If it was really playing basketball, went out to eat, whatever. Because at the time, Ryan used to take me to Polly's Pies. Where he worked.
Because he got a discount?
I guess so. But again, that affected me even way later. Like, I didn't actually get into another serious relationship until college. And going into that, like, dude, especially now after high school, dude, now I'm gaining weight. So now my insecurities are skyrocketing to the max. And I going to a lot of these relationships, like, dude, honestly, I guess because my insecurities were so high, I don't know, I got cheated on pretty much all of them. And like now, like my insecurities are like maxing out, dude. So
I'm not laughing at the cheating. I've been there, so I know what you're talking about.
So like now, like
you can laugh about it now, bro.
No, I do laugh about it now, because now when I thought, like, I was really insecure initially.
Just adding more fuel to the
dude,
fire.
now it's like if there's a bar level and I guess it says max out, I was already exceeding that. Like it was like the thermometer where it was like it's about to explode. Like it was
Especially
like,
now, like you're trying to live right and like how God calls you, and then you get cheated on.
that's hilarious, bro. No, it's funny, bro, because you're just like you're trying to be like a good Christian. And you're like. It's like, hey God, like, hey, what's up? And then,
He's like, bam, you reap what you sow.
So, think about it to now. I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like, whatever goes around comes around. Meaning, like, I spent so long trying to spit game, I guess you could say breaking hearts, to now do my hearts getting broken left and right.
Yeah.
And, this time period also affected my relationship with my dad, and things were kind of already getting. Well, around like high school again. It was already bad because I was trying to spit game with these girls, and trying to lead up to something else. I would bring them over to my house, and I'll sneak them over.
Really?
Yeah, and one time I got caught. Like I was like, dude, having the sex talk with your dad because he found out that you're sexually active, it's kind of embarrassing, bro. Like the
Let me
most
ask you,
uncomfortable.
how old were you at this point when you're having this talk? When he's telling you about the birds and the bees?
14.
14? Yeah. Oh, that was pretty early then.
Yeah, it was early, dude.
I thought you were.
No, dude.
It made it seem like it was like 19, 20.
Dude, no, it was early, bro. Again, but I'm saying that all had something to do with this, where
I got you.
Where my dad felt disrespected because I was bringing girls over. Like now thinking about it, bro, like that's super disrespectful. Like, I shouldn't have done that. Like now, especially like since you're a dad, like like it's just like, dude, you have to respect the house. Like especially like. I have a mom, like it's disrespectful. Again, like I do regret it.
You don't think about those things when you're younger. You're just trying to.
I'm just trying to, but
you're just trying to hit holes like a running back without even thinking about it.
Jeopardized my relationship with my dad, like to the point where like things were kind of getting heated, like the way they used to.
Would you say jeopardize, or do you think now it's like a boiling point? Because I'm sure you were being an idiot.
Another way, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's like
now adding
this to it.
Yeah, like I was just like, we're to the point where he was just like, I'm spiraling, and it was just like, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like things would have been a lot differently if I know we're not supposed to live with the what ifs, but like if I were to actually just focus on sports. Focus on like school, my walk would have probably been different because I wouldn't have been. I mean, I probably still would have been like trying to like, at the time like our hormones are going crazy. Like I still, but like I wouldn't be as girl obsessive. Like just trying to spit game everywhere. But yeah.
I don't know, man. I think as cliche as it sounds, all these things happen for a reason, it makes you the man, woman who you are today.
I agree.
I think, I know for sure I wouldn't be where I am right now if I didn't do the good and bad things that I did, back then. I do definitely agree that I wish that I would have not did some of the stupid things and experienced some of the pain that it brought, because of the choices of my actions, but, that would have game is dangerous.
And like you said, I mean, everything had a reason. I now could say I'm pretty close to my dad because of everything that me and him went through.
Yeah.
And now, like, we could have a conversation about anything, and it's just a casual conversation, not where, like, I don't feel as embarrassed or nervous to talk to him. It's just like, dude, I'm a grown man, and he's a grown man too. Like, we're just two grown men having a conversation at that point. Obviously he's still my dad. I'm not gonna be like just saying.
But you can have.
But I could have that because of that. Now coming into this relationship, I mean, don't get me wrong, I had my errors, but I wouldn't have actually conquered a lot of the insecurities that I had because of everything I went through.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, like I'm who I am now, and I'm proud to say, like, you know, like I'm pretty.
So if all right, let's play this hypothetical situation, and then we'll end on that, and we might do a part 2 because I want to hear the rest of the story. If you could go back and change something that was pivotal in your mind, that would put you on a different path, what would that be?
Honestly, I think it was my academics.
Academics?
I could have said sports, and I mean, yeah, that passed partial play, but I think it was my academics because I just feel like a lot of these people always thought of me as a dumb one. So I wish if I would have educated myself and like became a little bit more intelligent, a lot of these insecurities, like, dude, let's just say I would know what the heck I'm talking about because I don't. But I mean, it's not too late to like actually crack open a book and just, you know, improve. But it's just I wish I would have done it earlier when I was a little bit more younger and stuff. But I think it was just academics where I wish I did a lot better. But there's more to it though, so stay tuned, I guess.
Thanks for coming on, brother.
Yeah, thank you, brother.